Welcome back to the Colt AR-15 resource. In this video, I'm going to talk about what is probably one of the more obscure pieces of M16 rifle or M4 carbine history. And this is not a Colt part, but what I'm talking about is this piece of metal here. This was used as a selector block on the M16 and M4 family of firearms to keep soldiers from rotating their selectors from semi to automatic in a civil response situation. When I began my military career in 1988, I was a traditional National Guard soldier, and the big acronym at the time was DSCA, which stood for Defense Support to Civilian Authorities. And although DSCA had a federal component to it, it was primarily a response plan that involved National Guard soldiers. And governors and law enforcement authorities were concerned that in a violent situation with citizens who were rioting or participating in some other type of violence, that soldiers would panic and they'd rotate their selectors from safe to auto, and more civilians would get harmed than just maybe a citizen, shooting at troops or whatever. So to mitigate that, it was mandated that these selector stops get installed to disable the selector and enable soldiers to fire semi-auto only. So I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to do a quick layout and talk briefly about how this part was installed. Okay, YouTube's rules don't allow me to actually show you how to install this part, but I can talk about it in steps here. You remove your pistol grip. You have the selector block, and the selector block has this cutout where it straddles the flange here on this forging. Here's where your pistol grip screws in. This piece straddles that flange. You can see I've got the hole here for the detent and the detent spring to travel through. Let me install this part and I'll come back and talk to you more about it in just a minute. Okay, here I've got the part installed. As mentioned before, it stops your selector from going safe to auto. It bumps up against that vertical arm there and stops that movement. From this angle, you can see how the hole aligns with the detent there. So let me put the pistol grip back on and I'll come back and have final comment. Okay, here's how the firearm appears with the pistol grip installed and the selector block installed. As you can see here, you can see how the part sits between the pistol grip and the lower receiver. You have the arm of the block there. Over time, soldiers would get irritated by that piece being there, and the metal's soft enough you can bend it and just pop it off. And its appearance here on the other side is nothing out of the ordinary. There again, you see the part resting between the pistol grip and the lower receiver. It's all held in place by the grip screw that holds the pistol grip on. So I hope you enjoyed this quick look at an odd or uncommon piece of history, and I'll see you again soon.